There's little of lost between US President Donald Trump and the people of Switzerland. Many oppose his policies and his upcoming visit to their country.
The Swiss Federal Council is about to roll out the red carpet for President Trump. We think this policy is unacceptable.
Ironically, Trump may have more in common with these protesters than with people he will meet at Davos. He opposes globalization, and he's even berated the World Economic Forum as an elite club that prospers at the expense of common people. But the US economy needs foreign investment, and Trump's hoping to win over hearts and funds of the global elite at Davos.
We're going to the World Economic Forum to share President Trump's economic story and to tell the world that America is open for business. We want the world to invest in America and to create jobs for hardworking Americans.
The US has a strong sales pitch this year. It's recently cut corporate taxes from 35% to 21%. The Trump administration is also slashing regulations to make it easier to run businesses in the country. And stock prices have risen to record highs since he took office. But Trump's pulled out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and he's threatening to dump the North American Free Trade Agreement. So there's little hope world leaders will warm up to Trump's charm offensive. Mobin Nasir, TRT World.
Katie Gregory is in Davos and sent us this update.
It's certainly all kicking off here in Davos on day 2 of the World Economic Forum. Now, while the first day was all about India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and also Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, today has taken a distinctly European flavour. We have the big hitters of the two main powerhouse economies, Germany's Angela Merkel and also French President Emmanuel Macron. They are here attending. Now, we have heard from Merkel. She's almost taken a bit of a swipe, perhaps, at what we're going to hear from US President Donald Trump on Friday, talking about how isolationism and protectionism is not the way to solve the world's economic problems. Now, she also spoke in terms of the UK and Brexit, saying that the EU would not compromise its principles in negotiations there. Now, interestingly, though, she didn't really confirm until quite late that she was attending, and she isn't staying to meet with US President Donald Trump. She is leaving before his speech on Friday and before he arrives on Thursday, in fact. So that was interesting. Now, we are going to hear from President Emmanuel Macron later in the forum. We've also heard today from Italy's Prime Minister and also Greece's Alexis Tsipras. Now, they have both echoed those sentiments from Merkel about isolationism, about protectionism, and reinforced that whole globalisation field that really has been the centre of this forum so far. We have also heard, in fact, on that theme from a Chinese official here attending Davos this year. He said that the country, that China, is also considering more market opening options this year too going forward. So we're hearing all about this sort of opening up of trade, of investment and of globalisation. So perhaps a little different to what delegates here are expecting to hear from US President Donald Trump on Friday. He's very much expected to talk about his America First policy, about US growth, US investment, and very clearly he's already making headlines before making it up the slopes to Davos.
So let's stay with the World Economic Forum now, and our editor-at-large, Craig Copetas, joins me from London. Hello, Craig. How worried are people up on the mountain in Davos that the US has triggered what might be called a race to the bottom in terms of taxes and currencies?
Well, they're so worried that even Jean-Claude Juncker came up the mountain for the first time in 20 years to wave the European flag. The Americans are making a full-court press on Davos. 27% of the delegates this year are from the United States. It's the largest contingent of Americans ever. And they're looking to do a body slam on Europe and anyone who does not go along with Trump's vision, to the point that one of the Americans there is Stephanie McMahon. Now, you may not have heard of her, but the company she helps run, you've heard of, the World Wrestling Federation. So Donald Trump is bringing everyone to town. You want to invest somewhere? Invest in America. That's the message they're giving.
Doesn't quite get more American than WWF, does it, Craig? I mean, look, from a long-term investor's point of view, it must be quite a confusing picture that's emerging from the US. I mean, on the one hand, you've got Gary Cohn, the economic advisor to the president, saying America first is not America alone, but then almost in the same breath, he's imposed tariffs on washing machines and solar panels.
Well, look, this is the way Trump operates. We've gone over that road how many times? The point is, look at what Mnuchin did, you know, with he wants a weaker dollar. That's going to bring more investment to the United States. Whether an economist wants to agree with Trump's position or not isn't the point, Azar. The point is this. You want to buy washing machines? You want to buy solar panels? Buy American. That's how Donald Trump's operation is thinking. And they're going to decrease the value of the dollar. They're going to make it weaker to make it easier for foreign money to come in and buy those items and others.
How much of this, though, is rhetoric that is designed, A, to appeal to Trump's base, and also act as something of a bargaining position? Let's not forget they're going into negotiations on NAFTA. There are other trade negotiations underway as well.
I think it's part of a long-term bargaining position strategy, which really kicked off when we saw the tax cuts in the U.S., corporate taxes cut, Apple and other companies bringing back billions upon billions of dollars. Macron did a quick end run by holding a mini Davos in Versailles on Monday, attracting investment from Google and Amazon and other companies in digital high tech. There's a scramble going on for investment capital, and that's what Davos is all about this year. You know, the phrase this year on the marquee is creating a shared future in a shattered world. Well, the world's pretty shattered right now, and the only way to fix it is to get investment capital. And that's what they're fighting for up there on the mountain. Right.
Now, look, this time last year, everyone was hailing Xi Jinping as the new CEO of Globalisation, Inc. China is playing a much more lower profile at WEF this year. Why is that?
Boy, you know, call me if you get the news on that, as I don't know. Their biggest player there this year is Jack Ma from Alibaba, who they dragged out today to say trade wars are not good, we have to have globalization. Well, Jack Ma is the poster boy for the Chinese Communist Party Politburo. He's the one they're dragging out. I would have thought the Chinese would have brought in some bigger political players, because the people up on the mountain, I can guarantee you, they know that Jack Ma has a great company. He's done amazing things, but they also know that he represents the Chinese government.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Craig Copetas in London, thank you so much.